In South Africa, one lion pounced on its trainer and dragged him into the bush. In Russia, another lion turned against its trainer, dragged him to the ground, and moved to tear him apart. All of these may seem unbelievable, but they're true live stories of where these bloodthirsty canines have attacked and eaten their trainers in front of visitors. In today's video, we have compiled 17 of such unfortunate instances, and the first on that list is Las Vegas Rogue. A regular day at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas took a terrifying turn when a lion attacked one of its trainers right in front of a stunned crowd. It all started when two trainers were inside the enclosure with the big cats. At first, everything seemed fine. The lions were calm, even yawning lazily as they moved around. But then, the male lion started glaring at one of the trainers, and before anyone could process what was happening, it lunged. The trainer tried to back away, but the lion wasn't letting up. Another trainer quickly jumped into action, grabbing the lion by the mane to give his colleague a chance to escape. Even then, the lion stayed on his tail, refusing to back down. Drew and Titus Ellis, a honeymooning couple, were right there when it happened. Drew had just taken a picture in front of the enclosure when the attack started. Titus, who was filming the whole thing, admitted he wasn't sure if he should keep recording or step in somehow. "I hesitated," he said, "but I realized there was nothing I could do to help. Honestly, what could anyone do at that moment? It's a 400-pound lion, not a house cat." There was also a female lion at the scene, and funny enough, onlookers believed she might have been trying to intervene and stop the lion from eating its trainer, but all was to no avail. Luckily, the trainer got away without serious injuries, but for everyone watching, including Drew and Titus, it's safe to say they left the exhibit with a story they'll never forget. Like Drew and Titus, Mike, in the next story, had an encounter he will never forget. However, unlike Drew and Titus, he is the victim and not a spectator. South Africa lion. A day at the Marakele Animal Sanctuary in South Africa turned into a horrifying ordeal for Mike Hodge, a 67-year-old British wildlife park owner. It all started when Mike noticed a strange smell in the lion's enclosure, and he decided to check it out himself. As he tried to leave the enclosure, the lion, a large male, reportedly named Shamba, went after him. In a horrifying moment caught on video, the lion pounced, dragging Mike across the ground toward a cluster of bushes. You can hear the panic in the background, people screaming as Mike calls out for help. It's enough to make your heart race just hearing about it. Thankfully, a quick-thinking warden fired a gun, scaring the lion off and saving Mike's life. Mike ended up in the hospital with injuries to his neck and jaw. The sanctuary, which has been a labor of love for the Hodge family, is home to an incredible collection of animals, including lions, tigers, birds, monkeys, and even smaller critters. They also offer tours where visitors can get up close to the lions. Sadly, Shamba didn't survive the aftermath of the attack. He was put down, leaving the family devastated. After the incident, the sanctuary has remained closed. Now, the whole thing serves as a reminder of how unpredictable and powerful these animals can be, even for someone as experienced and passionate as Mike. The next lion attack incident did not happen at a sanctuary, but at a circus. Russia Circus. During a circus in Russia, the audience was thrown into shock when a lion attacked its trainer during a show. It started like a normal performance. Two lions walked into the ring, followed by their trainer, Maxim Orlov. But then, out of nowhere, one of the lions pounced on him. The lion grabbed Orlov by the leg and pulled him to the ground. People in the audience screamed and started running for the exits. Orlov got up and tried to defend himself with two batons, but the lion came at him again, pinning him down. Everyone watching was frozen in shock. Orlov was hurt, with injuries to his arms and legs. He was taken to a hospital in a nearby town. Afterward, Orlov explained what he thought happened. He said the lion Vega was always a bit difficult. He also blamed the pandemic since the animals hadn't been performing for a while and might have been stressed. Orlov said Vega won't be part of the circus anymore. They're trying to find her a new home, possibly at a zoo, and plan to replace her with a lion cub. Orlov and Vega's story is very popular, but it's not the only time a lion has attacked at a circus. Circus trainer. In a circus in eastern Ukraine, a terrifying moment happened when a lion attacked its trainer in front of a crowd of kids. The trainer, Hamada Kota, 32, was performing when one of the lions jumped at him, sinking its teeth into his arm and scratching his back and leg. The attack was so intense that Kota's wounds were serious. He had tooth and claw marks on his body, including a deep wound on his back. Despite the blood, he stayed calm and fought off the lion, managing to get it back into its cage. After the attack, Kota, who has worked with lions for years, explained explained that the animals were likely stressed because they had just arrived in the city and hadn't had time to adjust. He said lions, like people, can have bad moods, and the stress of the new environment led to the attack. Even though he was hurt, Kuta didn't panic. He asked the audience to calm down and even finished the performance after the lion was safely locked away. He made it clear that, in his experience, animal attacks are almost always the trainer's fault. The next story is about a journalist who, in an attempt to find out how friendly lions can be, learned a lifetime lesson. Telegraph journalist went to a lion sanctuary in South Africa to get a close look at a lion named Mapimpan, who was just over a year old.
So I assume you've just read the sign behind me, but I'm going inside the cage in a few minutes. And the one thing he's just said to me is, don't be scared, they can sense fear. And I am quite scared.
The lion seemed friendly at first, rolling on its back and playing with the journalist's shoes. But things quickly took a scary turn. As the journalist bent down to pet the lion, Mapimpan started growling and circling. Before they knew it, the lion grabbed their leg with its teeth and pulled them down. The journalist tried to fight back, but the lion was too strong. The lion expert, Ari, had to step in and smack the lion on the nose to make it let go. But Mapimpan wasn't done. It lunged again, this time biting the journalist's shoulder. After a few more seconds of chaos, Ari was able to get the lion under control, and the journalist was able to escape the enclosure. The journalist learned a valuable lesson. Lions are wild animals, and even if they seem friendly, they can still be dangerous. Next time, they'll stick to watching from a safe distance. Apart from the journalist, a tourist learned this exact same lesson in 2020. Zebra costume. In this wild experiment, a group of men decided to dress up in a zebra costume and stroll through the jungle. Their goal was to see how the animals would react to a zebra that wasn't quite a zebra. The lions, of course, didn't notice anything strange about the costume and went straight into hunting mode. One of the lionesses, thinking she had found herself a tasty meal, managed to pull the neck off the dummy zebra and sprinted off into the bushes with it, believing she had made a kill. The men ran for their lives in the opposite direction. It was certainly a close call, but they made it out of the jungle alive, so maybe that's a win in itself. If you think these men were daring, wait till you hear about the lion tamer who locked himself up with 7 lions in a cage. Lion tamer. During a big performance, a lion tamer found himself in a tense and dangerous situation with one of his lionesses. Everything seemed fine at first, but then, without warning, the lioness became aggressive. She suddenly lunged at him, her claws swiping and teeth showing. The tamer tried to stay calm, but the lioness was fast and strong, catching him off guard. In a split second, her jaws came very close to his arm, almost causing a serious injury. The audience held their breath as the tension grew, but the tamer, fully aware of the dangers of working with wild animals, kept his cool. He used his training and understanding of the lioness to slowly calm her down. After a few tense moments, the lioness settled and went back to her usual self. Working with wild animals can be very scary, unpredictable, and risky, but after the tamer managed to control the lion, the show continued. But the sad thing is that not every tamer can totally control lions, and the trainer in this next incident may have had a different story to tell. Extinguished by fire. During a circus performance in northern France, a lion attacked its tamer in front of a crowd of about 100 people, including children. The 220-kilogram lion grabbed the tamer, Steve Loberot, by the neck and dragged him around the cage. The audience screamed and fled as the circus team struggled to regain control. It wasn't until Steve's wife sprayed the lion with a fire extinguisher that the attack stopped. Steve was rushed to the hospital by air ambulance with puncture wounds to his head, neck, and legs. He underwent a 5-hour operation and remains in serious condition, being monitored for any potential infections. Despite the frightening attack, the owners of the lion have decided not to put it down. The next story is about a reporter who wanted to interview a lion that was more interested in having her for launch. Hayley Winslow. A lot of us could happily spend hours hanging out with animals, but maybe not all animals, right? I mean, if we had to spend time with a lion, most of us would probably think twice about it. Well, that's exactly what journalist Hayley Winslow found herself doing during an interview. She was right next to a lion named Tao, who hadn't eaten in a while, and his body language said it all. At first, Tao the lion seemed to respond to Hayley's questions in a cute way, almost like he was being playful. But as the interview went on, it became clear that this lion wasn't in the mood for fooling around.
This is Tao. He's about 14 years old. He doesn't like the cold as much as the tigers, do ya? But he's choosing to be outside, and if it gets really cold, he can go into his den in the back. Right, Tao?
By the end of the chat, Tao made it crystal clear that messing with him wasn't the best idea. Trust me, Haley probably learned her lesson when the lion decided to give her a not-so-little scare. Nobody is totally safe with lions, even babies are also not safe. Cute baby. At a zoo in China, a mother's innocent photo shoot with her baby turned into a tense moment when a hungry lioness decided the child looked like lunch. The lioness, separated by a thick glass wall, was caught on video pawing and biting at the barrier, trying to reach the baby on the other side. The baby, completely unaware of the danger, just sat there calmly, probably thinking the big cat was playing. Meanwhile, the lioness was laser-focused, her wild instincts on full display, as she tried to get through the glass. It's a scene that's both fascinating and nerve-wracking, and it's a good reminder of just how powerful and unpredictable these animals can be, even in captivity. Thank goodness for that sturdy glass wall. If not for the glass wall, the picture the mother was taking of her child would have been her last memory of the child. This lion was definitely a hungry one. But guess what's worse than a hungry lion? A smart lion. Smart lion. This unusual and nerve-wracking event occurred during a safari adventure when a group of tourists found themselves in close proximity to a lion. While they might have expected some thrilling wildlife encounters, they were certainly not prepared for what happened next. As their vehicle stopped near a pride of lions, one of the curious animals approached the car. To the shock of everyone inside, the lion managed to use its teeth and paw to grip the door handle and open the car door. The tourists' screams echoed as the door swung ajar, bringing them face to face with the powerful predator. Fortunately, quick thinking saved the day. One of the passengers reached out and managed to slam the door shut before the lion could do anything more. Wild animals, as majestic as they are, remain unpredictable, and even something as simple as a door handle can pique their curiosity. It is important to secure car doors and windows while on a safari. The moment was caught on camera and has since gone viral, with viewers marveling at the intelligence and adaptability of lions. In Ukraine, a circus event was all fun and games until one lion attacked the trainer. Thankfully, his colleagues were around to stop the situation from escalating. Water rush. Back in October 2010, a circus performance in Lviv, Ukraine, turned into an unforgettable and terrifying experience for everyone in the audience. Lviv, often called the City of Lions, lived up to its name in the most alarming way when a lion tamer found himself in serious trouble. An American family, the Shepherds, happened to be there and captured the whole ordeal on video. What started as a regular circus act turned chaotic when one of the lions decided it was done playing along. The lion charged at its trainer, Oleksiy Pinko, roaring and clawing as the audience froze in horror. Then, to make matters worse, another lion jumped in and clamped down on the trainer's arm. Doug Shepard, the father, described the scene later. Kids are screaming, and about 35 feet away, his wife, Masha, wasn't taking any chances. She grabbed their daughter and bolted, thinking the lions might break free. It's hard to imagine staying calm when there's nothing but a flimsy net separating you and two furious predators. The video shows workers trying to get the lions under control. Their weapon of choice? Hoses. Yes, hoses. They sprayed the lions, trying to push them back, while Pinko desperately tried to regain control. At one point, he was knocked to the ground, and for a moment, it looked like the lions had the upper hand. Pinko was eventually rushed to the hospital for emergency surgery. Thankfully, he survived, and his condition was stable after the attack, but the incident left a lasting impression, especially on Doug's kids. His son told him, "I don't want to go to the circus ever again," and honestly, who could blame him? To top it all off, rumors started spreading that one of the lions had escaped. Doug even went back to the arena to retrieve his daughter's doll and admitted he was nervous about what he might find. Luckily, there were no loose lions, just workers scrubbing down the ring to erase any signs of the attack. What made this incident even scarier was how vulnerable the audience was. This circus had nothing but a net between the lions and 1,000 spectators, many of them kids. The next story is about an overconfident zookeeper who almost lost his arm to a lion. Interview session. A viral video titled "Stupid Zookeeper Almost Lost His Arm" captures a shocking moment where a lion suddenly attacks a zookeeper. The zookeeper, like many others in his field, seemed overly confident and underestimated just how dangerous and unpredictable the lion could be. Perhaps the presence of the camera crew made him want to show off. Distracted by talking to them, he got too close to the cage, forgetting to maintain a safe distance. That's when the lioness struck. In just a split second, the lion lunges at him, grabbing his arm with its powerful jaws. jaws. For a terrifying moment, it seems like the situation could end in disaster. This was the lion's third attempt at trying to grab his arm. However, the keeper manages to act quickly, pulling his arm free just in time before things get even worse. He escapes with minor injuries, but the incident easily could have been life-altering. No matter how experienced or familiar you might be, lions and other creatures like them are still wild and instinctive. It's easy to forget their sheer strength and unpredictability when you're around them every day. Even a single moment of overconfidence or carelessness can lead to a dangerous situation, as this zookeeper learned the hard way. Thankfully, this time, it ended without serious harm, but it's a lesson no one should forget. Zookeepers are not always victims. Sometimes they are lifesavers, and that's exactly what the next story is about. Numan Hassan, who was interacting with a lion at a zoo, had a terrifying experience when the lion suddenly attacked him. At first, everything seemed calm as he was getting close to the animal, but without warning, the lion became aggressive and lunged at him. The lion's powerful jaws grabbed hold of Numan, and he struggled to get free, fighting to protect himself from the attack. Luckily, a quick-thinking zookeeper that was with him rushed to his aid just in time. The keeper managed to distract the lion and pull it away from Numan, saving him from further harm. Numan immediately ran out of the enclosure to save his life. The next story is about a lion that attacked a toddler. TV show. A scary moment happened on live TV when a lion went after a toddler. It all took place on a Mexican TV show called Conservationist de Mujer. The little girl and her mum were sitting with the host, a lion, and its two trainers. Everything seemed fine until the toddler started crying. Out of nowhere, the lion grabbed the child's legs with its paws. The girl screamed louder, and her mom panicked, trying to pull her daughter away. The trainers jumped in quickly, doing their best to separate the lion from the child. They kept telling the mom to stay calm, over and over. After some tense moments, the trainers managed to get the lion off the toddler and led it away. Thankfully, the little girl wasn't hurt. The trainers later said the lion was just playing, but it didn't look like fun for anyone. What shocked people the most was the mom's reaction. She just laughed through the whole thing. Maybe she was trying to stay calm, but watching her child get grabbed by a lion doesn't seem like something to laugh about. At least it ended safely, but it's probably a good idea to keep lions and kids far apart next time. The next story is probably the oldest and saddest story you'll hear of a lion attacking a man. Bad safari lions. On February 18, 1975, a tragic incident unfolded at Wallasey National Park in Angola during a safari. Tourists were enjoying a day in the park, taking photos of the wildlife, when Piet Dernitz decided to leave the safety of his vehicle to take pictures. He stepped out to get a closer look at the lions, hoping for a better shot. Sadly, this decision would lead to his horrifying demise. As Piet was outside the vehicle, the lions, who had been calmly resting nearby, suddenly attacked. Despite the other tourists witnessing the attack, they were unable to intervene. The scene was captured on film by the horrified onlookers, including Pitt's wife and children, who watched helplessly as the lions mauled and devoured him. The footage caused a stir and debate. Many were shocked by the graphic violence of the scene, while others questioned its authenticity. Some people believed the attack could have been staged, arguing that it seemed too dramatic to be real. However, regardless of whether it was a real or staged event, it remains a haunting reminder of the dangers that come with being so close to wild animals. This is not the first time a family has had to witness their loved one eaten alive by a lion. Rough play. West Mathewson, a beloved conservationist in South Africa, had a deep bond with the two white lionesses, Tanner and Demi. These lions weren't just wild animals to him, they were like family. But one tragic day, while West was playing with Tanner and Demi, things took a dangerous turn. It was supposed to be just a fun moment of rough play, but suddenly, the lion's instincts kicked in. The playful wrestling turned serious, and the lionesses attacked. West was mauled badly, and despite the desperate efforts of his wife Gil, who tried to alert neighbors and get help, it was too late. By the time paramedics arrived, West had tragically passed away from his injuries. It wasn't the first time Tanner and Demi had been involved in an attack. Just a few years earlier, they had escaped their enclosure and mauled a local man, Justice, who later died from his injuries in the hospital. West had saved the lions from a cruel fate in a trophy hunting park, but even with all the care he gave them, these powerful creatures were still unpredictable, especially in moments like this. West's family and friends say that the lionesses didn't mean any harm. It was simply a tragic accident. They were just playing, but things got out of hand. Many people were upset by the incident, but some also felt that West had been too close to them, spending so much time with the lions that he may have underestimated their wild instincts. In the end, Tanner and Demi were moved to another lodge after the attack, and though they weren't put down, it was clear that wild animals, no matter how loved or raised with care, are unpredictable and dangerous. Things can go wrong even if all the right steps are taken. With that, we've come to the end of today's video. If you found this video interesting, just Just make sure to click on any of the cards on your screen to check out more exciting stories like this one.